If you're a man over 60 and your breakfast this morning was toast, oatmeal, cereal, or a bagel, I need you to listen very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you question everything you've been told about the most important meal of the day. For 40 years, the message has been hammered into you. Eat whole grains, eat fiber, cut the fat, cut the cholesterol. A bowl of oatmeal with a banana, that's the heart-healthy breakfast. A slice of whole wheat toast with a thin spread of margarine, that's what the pamphlets in your doctor's waiting room show. And you did what you were told. You were compliant. You were a good patient. And now you can't get out of a low chair without using both armrests. Now your wife does the grocery shopping because you don't trust your legs on the supermarket floor. Now you grab the railing every time you go down the stairs. And you're wondering, what happened? I did everything right. I ate what they told me to eat. This is not your fault. The advice was wrong. Not wrong in a small way, wrong in a way that has been silently destroying the leg strength of millions of men over 60, one breakfast at a time. And the food you've been told is the healthiest way to start your day, that toast, that oatmeal, that cereal, is the number one reason your legs are failing you right now. I'm going to explain exactly why. I'm going to show you the science that the food industry never told you. And then I'm going to give you the exact breakfast that protects your quadriceps, stops age-related muscle loss, and keeps you standing on your own 2 feet for the rest of your life. Let me start with a number that should stop you cold. Between the ages of 50 and 70, the average man loses 30% of his total muscle mass. 30%. That is nearly 1/3 of every muscle fiber you built over a lifetime. Gone. But here's what the textbooks don't emphasize enough. This muscle loss is not random. It is not even. It does not politely distribute itself across your body. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, has a favorite target, and that target is your quadriceps. The 4 muscles on the front of your thigh that extend your knee, that straighten your leg, that push you up from a seated position against gravity. There is a study from the Journal of Gerontology that looked at muscle cross-sectional area in men across different age groups. The finding was brutal. The quadriceps atrophy at nearly twice the rate of the hamstrings. Twice. Your body intentionally cannibalizes the exact muscle group you need to stand up, to climb stairs, to catch yourself when you trip. And the reason this matters more than almost any other health metric is this. Quadriceps strength is the single strongest predictor of whether a man over 65 will still be living independently in 5 years. Not his cholesterol, not his blood pressure, not his weight, his quadriceps. That is not my opinion. That is the finding from a major longitudinal aging study published in the Journals of Gerontology Series A. Grip strength gets all the headlines, but leg strength is what determines whether you stay in your home or end up in assisted living. This is not bodybuilding science. This is independent science. This is, can I get off the toilet by myself science. And when you understand that your legs are the foundation of your freedom, you start asking a very different question about the food you eat first thing in the morning. Now here's where the mechanism comes in. And I'm going to explain this carefully because once you understand this one concept, you will never look at your breakfast the same way again. Inside every muscle cell in your body, there is a signaling pathway called mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as the master switch for muscle building. When mTOR is activated, your muscles are in anabolic mode. Anabolic means building. Your cells are taking amino acids from your bloodstream and synthesizing new muscle protein. When mTOR is off, your muscles are in catabolic mode. Catabolic means breaking down. Your body is literally eating its own muscle tissue for fuel. Here is what happens after age 50. The mTOR switch gets harder to flip, much harder. Researchers call this anabolic resistance. Your muscles resist the signal to build. It takes a stronger stimulus, more protein, specifically more of the amino acid leucine, to activate the same muscle-building machinery that a 25-year-old can trigger with half the effort. A landmark paper in Frontiers in Nutrition in 2024 quantified exactly how much protein older adults need per meal to overcome anabolic resistance. The number is 0.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For a 180-pound man, that is roughly 33 grams of protein in a single meal, not spread across the day, in one meal. If you do not cross that threshold, mTOR stays off. Your muscles stay in breakdown mode. You lose leg strength with every meal that fails to reach that number. And here is where it gets darker. A study from the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging demonstrated that anabolic resistance is progressive. It gets worse every year after 60. The same amount of protein that worked at 62 does not work at 68. The threshold keeps rising. Your body keeps raising the bar while your breakfast keeps falling short. Now compare 33 grams, the threshold for a 180-pound man over 60, to what the average American man in this age group actually eats for breakfast. Let's walk through the math. And I mean the actual math. Because numbers don't sell diet books and numbers don't make for good morning show segments. But numbers are what determine whether your quadriceps are building or breaking down at 7 a.m. tomorrow. 1 cup of cooked oatmeal, 6 grams of protein. 1 slice of whole wheat toast, 4 grams of protein. 1 medium banana, 1 gram. A cup of Cheerios with half a cup of skim milk, 7 grams. A plain bagel, 10 grams. A bowl of Raisin Bran, 6 grams. A cup of granola, 8 grams. If you are a man over 60 eating what you have been told is the heart-healthy breakfast, let's say a bowl of oatmeal with a banana and a slice of toast, you have just consumed 11 grams of protein. 11. The threshold to activate mTOR, to stop muscle breakdown, to protect your quadriceps, is 33 grams. You are 22 grams short. You are not even halfway there. Let me say that again so it lands. You just ate a breakfast that is biochemically incapable of stopping muscle loss. The calories are there, the fiber is there, you feel full, but the one signal your quadriceps are waiting for, the protein signal, the leucine spike, the mTOR activation, that signal never arrived. So your legs stay in breakdown mode, not because you ate something bad, because you ate something that was not enough. Now multiply that morning by 365 days a year. Multiply that by 5 years. Multiply that by 10 years. You have eaten more than 3,000 breakfasts, and not one of them, not a single one, contained enough protein to flip the switch. You started every day in muscle breakdown mode, every day, for a decade. And here is the part that should make you angry. This was not an accident. The food industry built a 40-year marketing campaign around the idea that a grain-based, low-fat, low-protein breakfast is the healthy choice. The cereal aisle in your grocery store is a museum of bad advice. Heart healthy stamped on boxes of processed carbohydrates that contain less protein than a single egg. The American Heart Association checkmark on a product that will leave your mTOR switch firmly in the off position. Government dietary guidelines that told an entire generation to trade their eggs for oatmeal, and then watched as that generation lost the ability to stand up. I am not telling you this to make you cynical. I am telling you this because you cannot fix a problem you do not know exists. Now let's add another layer to this. Because the protein threshold is only half the story. The other half is timing. The first meal you eat after waking is the most important meal of the day for muscle preservation. And I don't mean that in the vague, grandmotherly way you've heard your whole life. I mean that in a very specific biochemical way. After 8 hours of sleep, your body is in a fasted state. During that fast, your muscles have been slowly leaking amino acids into your bloodstream. Your cortisol is elevated. Cortisol is the stress hormone that promotes muscle breakdown. Your mTOR pathway has been off for hours. Your body has been in a low-grade catabolic state all night. The first meal of the day either stops that process or lets it continue. When you eat a breakfast with enough protein, 33 grams or more, you create a pulse of amino acids in your bloodstream. That pulse triggers a spike in insulin. Insulin is not just a blood sugar hormone. Insulin is a powerful anti-catabolic signal. It directly suppresses muscle protein breakdown. And the combination of elevated amino acids plus insulin is what finally flips the mTOR switch from off to on. But when your breakfast is toast and oatmeal, 10 or 11 grams of protein, the amino acid pulse never happens. The insulin response is triggered by the carbohydrates, but the protein isn't there to complete the signal. You get the blood sugar spike. You do not get the mTOR activation. Your muscles continue breaking down. And here's the research that makes this undeniable. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition compared two groups of older adults eating the same total daily protein, roughly 90 grams. Group 1 ate it unevenly, 10 grams at breakfast, 20 at lunch, 60 at dinner. Group 2 spread it evenly, 30 grams at breakfast, 30 at lunch, 30 at dinner. Same 90 grams, same foods, same total calories. The group that ate 30 grams at breakfast gained significantly more leg muscle mass and leg strength than the group that ate 10 at breakfast and 60 at dinner. The total was identical. The distribution was everything. And then a separate study, also from 2021, asked a different question. What if you take people who already eat enough protein and just shift more of it to breakfast? Same total daily intake, just more at breakfast and less at dinner. Same result. The breakfast group built more muscle. Not the same muscle, more muscle. Timing produced a result that total intake alone could not. So you now have two requirements for your breakfast. 1. Minimum 33 grams of protein. 2. It has to happen within roughly 2 hours of waking, because that is when your body's sensitivity to amino acids is highest, and your need to reverse the overnight fast is most urgent. Now let me tell you what to eat. I'm going to give you 3 breakfasts, not 10. Not a grocery list of exotic ingredients you'll buy once and never touch again. 3 breakfasts that are simple, practical, and biochemically designed to cross the 33-gram threshold. 3 breakfasts that flip the mTOR switch. 3 breakfasts your quadriceps will thank you for within weeks. Breakfast 1. 3 whole eggs scrambled with half a cup of egg whites, 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, and a handful of walnuts. Total protein, roughly 38 grams. The 3 whole eggs give you 18 grams. The egg whites add another 13 grams. The Greek yogurt contributes roughly 15 grams. The walnuts add a couple of grams, healthy fats, and omega-3s that reduce inflammation, which independently supports muscle health in older adults. Now, the reason this breakfast works goes beyond the raw protein number. Eggs are one of the richest dietary sources of leucine. Leucine is the specific branch-chain amino acid that acts as the direct trigger for the mTOR pathway. It's the finger on the switch. 3 whole eggs contain roughly 1.5 grams of leucine. The egg whites push that higher. The Greek yogurt adds casein, a slow-digesting protein that keeps amino acids elevated in your bloodstream for hours. You get the leucine spike from the eggs. You get the sustained release from the yogurt. You cross the threshold. The switch flips. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is your breakfast. Breakfast 2. 5 ounces of lean ground beef sautéed with bell peppers and onions, 2 scrambled eggs, and half an avocado. Total protein, roughly 44 grams. The beef gives you 30 grams. The eggs give you 12 grams. Together, you are well above the 33-gram threshold. And the leucine content of this meal, the trigger amino acid, is approximately 3.5 grams. That is more than enough to overcome anabolic resistance and drive muscle protein synthesis even in a 75-year-old man. Now, I know some of you are thinking about saturated fat. I want to address this directly. A 2024 review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition examined unprocessed red meat consumption and cardiovascular risk. The findings showed that lean, unprocessed beef carries a substantially lower risk profile than processed meats like bacon and sausage. If you are concerned, choose 93% lean ground beef. Choose grass-fed. The point is not that you must eat beef. The point is that beef is exceptionally efficient at delivering the exact amino acid profile your aging muscles need. The fear of red meat is a 40-year-old story. The science has moved on. And if you're a man over 60, it's time your breakfast moved on too. Tuesday and Thursday. This is your breakfast. Breakfast 3. A blended shake. 2 scoops of whey protein isolate, 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons of almond butter, and half a frozen banana. Total protein, roughly 55 grams. This is the weekend breakfast. This is the I don't want to cook breakfast. Whey protein is the fastest absorbing protein known to nutritional science. It spikes blood amino acid levels within 30 minutes of ingestion. It is extraordinarily high in leucine, roughly 2.5 grams per scoop. Combined with the Greek yogurt, which provides slow-digesting casein for sustained amino acid delivery, you get a rapid spike followed by hours of muscle protection. The almond butter adds healthy monounsaturated fats. The banana gives you potassium, which supports muscle contraction and nerve signaling. This breakfast takes 90 seconds to make. You cannot tell me you don't have time. 2 scoops, 1 cup, 2 tablespoons, half a banana. Blend. Drink. Your legs are protected for the day. Saturday and Sunday, or any morning you're in a hurry. Now notice what is not in any of these 3 breakfasts. No toast, no oatmeal, no cereal, no bagel, no granola bar, no muffin, no pastry. I am not the breakfast police. If you want a slice of sourdough with your eggs, eat the sourdough. But the eggs come first. The protein comes first. Because the protein is what keeps you standing. The toast is just calories. And after 60, you cannot afford to fill the most critical meal window of your day with foods that fail the only test that matters. Did this meal give my legs enough protein to stop breaking down? When you make this change, when you go from 10 grams of protein at breakfast to 35 or 40 or 50 grams, several things happen in a specific order. Within the first 30 minutes, your blood amino acid levels spike. Leucine crosses the threshold. The mTOR switch flips from off to on. Muscle protein synthesis begins. Within the first week, you will notice something you may not have felt in years. You're not hungry by 10 a.m. The protein and fat breakfast digest more slowly than the toast and oatmeal breakfast. Your blood sugar stays stable. You are not riding the insulin roller coaster that carbohydrates alone create. For men with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and more than half of men over 60 fall into one of those categories, this blood sugar stability alone is worth the change. Within the first month, the cumulative effect of daily mTOR activation starts to become noticeable. You stand up from a chair with less effort. The stairs feel slightly easier. You don't think about your legs as much, and that, paradoxically, is the best sign. When your legs are weak, you think about them constantly. Every chair is a calculation. Every stair is a negotiation. When your legs start getting stronger, you stop thinking about them. They just work. Within 3 months, if you are consistent, the changes become measurable. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition looked at older adults who increased their breakfast protein to 30 grams or more while keeping total daily calories the same. At 12 weeks, quadriceps cross-sectional area had increased. Gait speed had improved. Chair stand time, the number of seconds it takes to stand up from a chair, walk 10 feet, and sit back down, had dropped significantly. And here is the finding that should give you hope. The participants in that study were between 67 and 84 years old. The oldest was 84, and his legs still responded to protein. Anabolic resistance is real. It makes muscle building harder after 60, but it does not make it impossible. The switch still works. You just have to push it harder. The breakfast you've been eating for the last 10 or 20 or 30 years was designed for a different person. It was designed by food companies selling processed grain products. It was endorsed by dietary guidelines that were written before we understood anabolic resistance, before we understood leucine thresholds, before we understood that older adults need more protein per meal, not less. You do not need to accept losing your leg strength as a normal part of aging. You do not need to accept that one day you will need help getting off the toilet. You do not need to accept that your wife will do the grocery shopping while you wait in the car because your legs can't handle the walk. The solution is not a pill. It is not a supplement. It is not a gym membership you'll use twice and feel guilty about. The solution is what you eat tomorrow morning. 33 grams of protein, within 2 hours of waking. 3 eggs, Greek yogurt, lean beef, a shake if you're in a hurry. That's it. That's the entire prescription. Your legs are what keep you standing. Your legs are what keep you driving. Your legs are what let you pick up your grandchild. They deserve more than toast. They deserve a breakfast that actually protects them. I'm Dr. David. This is Wellness After 60. If this video helped you, you are going to want to watch the next one where I expose the most dangerous time of day to take your blood pressure medication and the simple timing adjustment that makes the difference between the medicine working for you and working against you. I'll see you there.